device, and does that SIM card run off of
the device? The device itself is what you would use. The SIM card is optional if you need service.
I get that. Does the SIM card come from Verizon, Comcast? Where does it come from?
The SIM card that is certified by the manufacturers with AT&T.
We don't have AT&T.
What do you mean by you don't have AT&T? You don't have AT&T account, or you don't have AT&T signal at all where you are?
No,
we have a signal.
We don't have it on AT&T.
But we don't have an account.
No.
That's okay. So the SIM card, along with the data service, can be provisioned. So you would pay Big Hairy Dog for the data service, monthly data service.
Correct. So yeah, so we'll set you up. Here at Big Hairy Dog, we'll set you up with the data service and the SIM card. You'll obviously pay AT&T monthly, but we'll get you all set up on this end.
Yeah, I mean that means that I have to have another service provider than I already have.
Well, you don't necessarily have a service provider. It becomes part of the service package from Big Hairy Dog.
So we won't.
For this, you're not signing another cellular contract or anything like that. If you want cellular service, Big Hairy Dog will provision that for you, and it'll be added to your monthly bill with Big Hairy Dog. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So.
Sorry, Matt. I made you the organizer or presenter, and I apologize. Do you have the screen?
Oh, I was on my actual demonstration screen. So 1 second. Can you do it again, please?
Sure. Actually, I think I made you presenter and organizer there. I hope I did that right.
Okay, now I got it again. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so you should be seeing what, oops, all right. What should look like a smartphone right now, do you?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, that handheld device that I just showed you would have a screen like this for the POS application. Okay? This is where you would start a transaction, and presumably you would scan barcodes if you have barcoded products. Since I'm on a virtual demo, I won't be able to scan, but I'll show you how you would also manually add items. So there's a product catalog. This comes from Retail Pro, right? And whatever you see in the Retail Pro workstations as your inventory and categories will be populated as such here. And then you can drill down to any category and then add an item. If you'd like to see a larger image of that item, you can do that as well. You want to go to another category and then add another item, you can do that. And ultimately, they're all added to your sales.
Is the price on the 9740?
That's the price of that item. It's the demo information here.
Okay.
So if you'd like to remove an item, you can do so. I just removed an item. If you'd like to change an item, customer decided to have that belt in black instead of brown, or instead of 32, they need 34 size. You can do those types of things from the variations. You can apply discounts. There is also, the promotion discount profile for these items will also flow through, or customer-based pricing will flow through as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if you have, it said price override. We don't usually have that in our system. I mean, everyone's sort of in Big Hairy Dog with their own particular discounts that they have available to them. But, you know, I'm just wondering, does that override price allow anybody to change the price on a unit, on a?
Well, it is meant to override the price, but it will require a password.
Okay. So it will go off of your.
Unless you have this password.
I couldn't think of it. Thank you.
Okay. So you know, as a merchant, you control that, whether or not you allow.
Okay, I just want to make sure it ties in with the Big Hairy Dog profile of what we have. What about putting something on hold? I saw that in the beginning, but I don't see that up here. Is that also an option?
Hold button in the bottom. Can you see it? All the way in the bottom.
Oh, down there. Yep.
So if the transaction is, as the transaction progresses, customer says, you know what, let me go ahead and check this section. Give me a second, give me a minute. Let me call someone to get an idea or recommendation, whatever. You can park the transaction and then go back and essentially pick up that transaction from the on hold.
And is there a way to do the sale under our customer's profile?
Yes, of course, yeah. So under the, so I'm gonna go back. So we're on the sales receipt, right? Do you see that arrow facing down right up top?
Yes.
Okay, you press on that and that pulls up the customer catalog, right? I just have test customers here. And then now, if you look at the top, you see that customer added to that sales receipt.
Okay, he's talking about
That one.
that. Okay.
All right, so at this point, we're ready to check out. And then it'll give you the payment options. Of course, you would have a credit card option here as well. I don't have a credit card machine attached to my virtual demo, but you would have the credit card option. You'd press that, and then customer can insert the chip card, tap the chip card, tap their phone if they're Apple Pay, they have Apple Pay or Google Pay, and complete the payment.
So right now,
go
if
ahead,
you could,
please.
if you can go back that one, back one slide, it said pay with Tupex. Would ours, we use Cayenne, would it say pay with Cayenne, or what is that Tupex?
Right, so again, these are demo tender types, so please disregard them.
Okay.
You would have the cash and credit card option here, basically. And when you hit the credit card, you will make the payment using this device, not the Cayenne Genius device, but using your merchant account. So you will use your merchant account, but not the Genius device, because the handheld you're using has the payment device integrated in it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, just disregard what you're seeing here because you know, it's a demo setup here, but in the live application, you'll have two options here, cash and credit. And of course, if you have stored value, you would have a third option for gift cards, potentially. And you'll then proceed to collect the, hit the credit card payment option, and then you'll essentially have the customer insert their chip card, so you don't have to touch the card, or they can tap their card, and then it'll complete the payment on this device. And then it'll work through the same merchant account and bank deposit process you have in place.
Okay. One more last sort of simple question. When you pulled up the customer, would it tell us if the customer had a credit like it does on our Retail Pro? Will it come up and say we have like a little soft key, the button that comes up, this customer has $97. Do you want to apply it to this this purchase?
So you're maintaining stored value in a stored credit, essentially, in Retail Pro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll verify that and get back to you. Jay, if we can take that as a follow-up, please. So I'm not quite familiar with that. We may very well be able to do that. I'm not, as I said, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Are we able to print gift receipts from the mobile unit? Is that an
Yes, you
option?
can. So I'll just collect the payment here, cash payment, to close out this transaction. And I'll go to settings. And this also shows you what is otherwise a very simple user interface, has a very robust engine behind it. So we can, Big Hairy Dog team can configure the system for different functionality and use cases as your needs may evolve in the future. Each of these subsettings categories will have 15, 20 options, and then each subsettings category might have additional 15, 20 options. So again, all of this will be set for your use case by Big Hairy Dog team. You don't have to worry about it, but I just want to show you that capability. So I'm going to go into print. So under the print section, you can print extra copies. You'll have printing preferences that you can add and remove. Sorry. And you can print a duplicate gift receipt as well.
I don't see a gift receipt as an option.
I don't see the gift receipt section here, but we do have gift receipts. I just don't recall right now where the setting is. But you'll be able to print a duplicate gift receipt.
Okay.
Do you guys have a training manual that goes with if we decided to look at this unit? Does it come with something that helps you identify some of these tabs and what's in some of the tabs, or is it just by we have to use them to know how to use it?
Of course, you'll have a user manual. However, Big Hairy Dog team will train you as well for your use case. It's very, very simple. In fact, we've had many deployments where the cashiers were trained the same day and were able to use the system, no problem. However, I think you're referring to making these types of adjustments. You can refer to the user manual or post your question to the Big Hairy Dog team, and they'll be able to assist you with the settings configuration.
What about the device when we're going to close out at the end of the night? Is that just going to be another workstation, like we have 5 workstations or something right now, or 3 with credit card, with point of sale systems? That would just be another number. You would give it, I don't know, number 99 or something, and
you will set this up, yes, as another workstation within Retail Pro that you'll be able to identify as your mobile unit or mobile units. Was that the question?
they're
signified like mobile 1, mobile 2, mobile 3, or you can
yeah, whatever number. Yeah, I just threw out number 99 just to.
And just on that note, you have, we have some large clients. US Open just used this in the last round. They had 50 of these units around the stadiums and throughout the whole facility. And again, they had people like Matt mentioned that they hired an hour before the game, an hour before the first match. So it was very easy to pick up, and clients love it.
Okay.
And is it just a point of sale device? Does it do anything with inventory?
Correct.
So there
It's
are
not
some functions.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
So
I didn't.
Sorry, it's different than the devices you have now that can do a physical inventory and can do a transfer and all of that. This is really primarily for sales. You can look up inventory, right, if you have it in stock and that type of thing, but it's not to take a physical inventory.
Is that shifts button, is that so you can check in and check out?
Shifts are exactly for that, yes. You can open a shift, you can close a shift, essentially count the cash drawer. Was that your question?
Well, is that the same as
So
clocking in for the morning and then clocking out for lunch? Is that the same?
Oh, clock in, clock out features here
Okay.
in the more section. Yeah.
Sometimes the registers are full.
Mhm.
Somebody's waiting to clock in.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you some additional information then. So in this home screen, you have different transaction types: sales, return. If you have gift card loyalty, you'll have that. We showed you the on hold, and then we just talked about the shifts, which is essentially cash register shift. Somebody's opening a shift. If you'd like to track that, how much was in the cash drawer? What was the cash drawer count at the end? Does it match the cash sales? That sort of thing. And then in the bottom, you have different tabs. In the sync tab, you have a little red bubble. If that count is 0, the chances are you're online. You have no problems with your Wi-Fi internet access. If that bubble has a number and it's not going away, it may be that you may have a transaction or two that's in queue because your connectivity has been choppy, or you may be offline. So this is just to show you the status, online, offline status of the device. In the history tab, you have different transaction types. You can go back and see, the sales you made, etc. So this is the transaction we just did, and it's here. If you have location services turned down, you have like pop-up. You'll see that this is my location, so you see where I am. And ultimately, you'll be able to search for any type of sale, order, returns, even payments. Each sales record has a payment record attached to it.
I have another quick question, and so does Anita. My question is, if the unit has its own credit card, whatever payment system, is there fees associated per use on that? Am I gonna, because I already have whatever, like you mentioned, Cayenne or Genius, and so I already pay them per transaction. Will I be paying somebody else separately for these transactions?
So
And how much is it?
the MIT, or the merchant account that you currently have, has typically 2 types of charges. One, like you mentioned, transaction charges that would arise from the gateway use of the Genius and the Genius terminal itself. And 2, the actual credit card processing charges for Visa, American Express, etc. By using this system, you will no longer be charged by Cayenne those Genius-related fees. However, you will be subject to your regular credit card discount charges from Visa, American Express. From Big Hairy Dog, you will get a per transaction fee, which is, I think, less than what Cayenne charges.
You think, would somebody give me that exact number before I sign up?
Of course, you will get it as part of your quote, yeah, without a doubt. This is all part of the Big Hairy Dog service package associated with the use of this device. So everything will be in your quote.
And then the transactions on these devices, do they also show up on the other workstation? Is it all still one?
I think what you're asking is, if we go to Big Hairy Dog receipts, are we going to see those receipts visible to us on a day's transactions?
Or do you have to look it up only if you make the transaction on this device? Is it only on this device?
Okay, so each transaction, upon completion with a payment, will be sent to Retail Pro near real time.
Okay.
So you'll be able to log on to your Retail Pro back office, headquarter or server, and you'll be able to view the transactions generated or completed by the mobile units. Was that your question? Because I heard Big Hairy Dog.
Yeah.
So we have 3 register workstations in our store, and then we have one of these mobile units. We will be able to see a receipt generated on the mobile unit on one of our workstations upstairs, or only at the end?
But Retail Pro back office, yes.
Right. So what happens is as you ring the sale, it will go to the cloud server where eMobile resides, and then there's a feed that goes into your back office of Retail Pro. So that happens almost instantaneously. So you will be able to see your transactions almost in near real time in Retail Pro in the back of house.
And is that the same for if you put the receipt on hold?
Can you pick it up?
Well, no, it hasn't, when it's on hold, it hasn't been completed just yet, right? So.
Right. Okay. So if you put something on hold, it's on hold on that device and that device only.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Until it's completed, it doesn't go to Retail Pro. There's also if I may, Matt, there's also a store and forward component. So if in the event that, I think you're probably familiar with that with what you use today, but in case the internet goes down, you're still able to ring sales with these mobile devices using eMobile POS. So you'll be able to take the device and you can set a threshold if you wish that, $50 or whatever that is, that allows you to accept the transaction. And then as soon as the internet comes back, it'll go and get the approvals. Again, we have clients that have used it out in a field someplace for a Spartan race or something where they don't have connectivity, but it allows you to always be able to make sales, even if you don't. In the unlikely event you don't have Wi-Fi or cellular, you'll have that fallback as well.
But that's only if you get the SIM card optional.
No, it's either way. It's you're using Wi-Fi or you're using cellular or both. But if you just don't have a way for the system to connect, right, or you lose connectivity to the server in the cloud, it doesn't matter. You're still able to ring sales residently on the device, capture the credit card, and then get the approval when it sees the internet.
It'll take its time. We get internet service back within an hour or two, or sometimes
Right. So if you're doing a trunk show or you're doing a parking lot sale, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, we're just talking about what we've had to go through when we have lost power numerous times, and we're manually writing them down and putting them in after, and sometimes you don't get the right zip code or you get the wrong address, and everything goes haywire. So I understand the benefit of that. Thanks.
Okay, sure. No problem.
Awesome.
Yep, the device is completely self-contained. So if you lost connectivity to the internet, whether it's Wi-Fi or if you have even the cellular backup, and that may not be working either, you'll still be able to capture that credit card information as if you were running a regular transaction. With the device, there's nothing manual you need to do or worry about with the card number, and then as soon as the connectivity is reestablished, it will send the transaction for processing at that time. So it'll hold as long as the device is offline, so there's no limit to that.
Okay. And how is this powered up? How do you charge this? How long does the charge last? And is it like an Android cord?
It comes with a charge cord, USB charge cord, and there is also a docking station if you like. But as far as your question in terms of the battery hold, these devices last easily 8, 10, 12-hour shifts before they require a charge, depending on the number of transactions that they're executing. So I can tell you that in U.S. Open tennis tournaments that Jay referred to, or even Super Bowl, the day before the game during the NFL experience, when it opens up at 10 a.m., these devices are cranking up transactions until about 8 p.m., 9 p.m. that day without necessarily needing a charge.
I was just curious, approximate time. We're not in that kind of desperate, time crunch, so it won't be a problem. I just wanted to make sure. One of the problems that we exhibited with the current VHD mobile units and sleds where they weren't charging, and they were on the units for 24 hours and then they wouldn't be charged. It was very, very finicky between the sled and the iPod that they used. And so we would go to use it and they would always be dead. And no matter how long we charged them, how many we wrinkled them and moved the cord around, it was a part of our problem in using them was that they wouldn't be charged when we needed them, even though they were charged.
Yes, we can imagine that's frustrating. But, so our experience has been different, as this it's not a sled that has to be, the piece that we had with those.
Yeah.
But any of those units that have an iPod and you slide it into the sled, and the sled has to be charged separately from the phone, and then you put it together, and there's a connection, right? Yeah, we realized that for years and years selling this other types of products with sleds. And then
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that's gone away with the PAX units or this hardware, but it's all in one piece, right? So you're really just charging one thing, which is nice.
At the time, that BHD unit was really the only unit that was available for mobile services. For quite some time, that was really the only available technology.
Correct. So, this is the new better scratcher, you know.
Yeah.
Other experiences or concerns that you may have or thoughts about what you
I just really wanted to hear you guys see the unit itself. You know, I heard what you guys said. It sounds like it's better than what we've had. We had something that was lackluster for sure. We didn't have just the charging problems. We had multitude of other problems that went along with the device. And so as long as it has real-time and iCloud live updates, I think that's good. It seemed like the, you know, the functionality, like you said, it has smartphone capabilities, so there's a lot more functionality within what you can do on these units. It doesn't seem as small. The handhelds working off
Yeah,
the iPod.
what is the size, the screen size on this device?
It's 5-inch.
Oh,
It's a 5-inch.
I just saw that. Sorry.
Right.
Smart, Holly.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a a big it's like your big Android, the XL Android, and it's a little thicker because you can see. If you look at that picture on the left, Lisa, it's just it's a little thicker because there's an actual little receipt roll in the thick end over there.
Yep.
On the bottom. Yeah, so your receipt's going to come out of there, right? Your EMV chip and pin, if you don't use a tap and go, is at the very bottom by the palm of the person's hand. You would slide your card in there to do the.
Is that like a laser printer, or for the printing? Do we?
It's not a label printer. It's not meant to print labels.
No, laser. Is it not? It's
no, thermal. It's thermal print.
So we don't need a. Yeah, we don't need a ribbon.
No
Right.
ink required.
Yeah. Exactly. It just you got to buy the little 2-inchers, and we'll provide that for you if you wish, just to have the thermal paper that fits into that unit. So again, it's a small little piece. It's a small, right? So you're going to need a little. If you're going to run all day, you'll need some spares because for the people that want receipts, you'll print a receipt, and it's just a small little roll. But it also asks for their email as well, right? Email receipts, a lot of people want that, yeah.
If we had them in the system, it makes it so much easier if we don't have to print them.
Yeah.
On a mobile device, that is.
Yeah. So if it has a SIM card, are we able to text, or we would have to have a phone number associated to that? Like we could text, because right now we use the iPod and the iPad, but it'll only text to people that have a Mac or Apple. It won't go to a Droid.
Do you know the answer to that? Can we text off of these devices? Text, you're talking like an email or
To a customer, yeah.
So it does have cellular connectivity capability, but it is not really a smartphone. It's made for POS use.
Okay.
So therefore, it limits those capabilities like phone or text because, one of the reasons is you don't want the staff to use that stuff or abuse that stuff too. So it has the data connectivity capability like a smartphone, but not those smartphone capabilities like phone call or text. Having said that, you can email the receipts.
Okay.
There's an email prompt. You can capture the email, and you can also set the printing as optional. So it will trigger the email question. If the customer is providing their email, they'll get the receipt via email. And then after the payment is complete, the system will ask, do you want to print a receipt? And the cashier at that moment can hit no, and it'll close out the transaction and bring it back to the sales screen.
Does this require a signature or like a finger signature for the credit card transactions?
Yeah, you capture the signature on the screen. There's also a setting for you to, if you want, get a live signature and thereby a live signature line on the printed receipt as well.
Okay.
That's your option. But there is electronic digital signature screen, as well as a pin pad that will also be used on the screen. or debit cards.
Okay.
So if we were having them sign on the line on the receipt, is it printing out 2 receipts, one for us and one for them?
If you so choose that option, yes.
Okay, but it's
you
not,
don't
it's a-
have to digital screen. I'm sorry, say it again, please.
I'm sorry. It's an option, but it that can go away if we don't want it.
Exactly. I mean, the recommended method is to capture the digital capture of the signature on the screen.
Okay. Okay, I think that we're just ready to get a quote sent to us for the device from Jay. I believe Lisa had to step out for a meeting.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. You cut out a little bit, Elisa?
Oh, yeah, Lisa had to step out for, she had another meeting scheduled, but she just asked if we could get a quote sent over to us for the device.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll get that together, and if there's some kind of, some kind of program we could do for what you have, and I know that Karen and I were going to work on that. So
Okay.
we just wanted to make sure we showed it to you. Do you like what you've seen so far?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's all in one,
Yeah. Yeah, it seems really user friendly, and we have some generationally people.
We all have those, right? We all have those, and it has to be easy, and it has to be easy for the client, and I think the thing that we suffered from prior to having this unit and this software in such a nice all-in-one package was, you're kind of walking around like an octopus. You got your thing in your hand, and you got your printer over here, and you've got take your credit card over there and the other thing. So this has just really streamlined the entire process for the client.
And do you want to attach this device to a body, like a cordless phone or something? They have the little hook that you can just.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, there's like some. There's a new silicone case that's really nice. There's also something in the that we've had in the past that was like more of a strap, to kind of strap it on like a crossbody purse,
Okay.
So, hey, oh, sorry, it's my purse, right? But again, I think the silicone case is kind of nice because it gives it a little protection. But we can give you some options on, if you guys want to have some kind of a crossbody, like a little holster. It's a little holster with a strap on it. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else?
No. The next question is for Karen or Paula. I don't know if they're on this call or not, but we currently have mobile devices, and I'm not quite sure if we have a contract with those, and if we did go forward with this, if that contract would be like null and void, or will we have to double up our payments until the contract is over with the ones that we currently have?
And this is Karen, and I think I'll go look at that with Felicia because she's on the line, I think, but she does our service contracts. We'll see if you just paid or when you're due to pay for the Foundry Logic, and just see where that stands. But the answer is we can stop it, I'm sure, at whatever point, and then move forward with the other device there. So we'll find out a little bit more and get. So you won't be paying double.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. So we're not obligated to finish that.
No, you're certainly not. Yeah, okay. We'll make sure I'll get with Felicia and we'll find out, when was that due, or do you happen to remember, did you just pay it, or is it coming up, or have we any idea on that?
I don't recall.
Don't worry about it. We'll find out, and then we'll put that as part of the price when we get the quote together for you. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. How does that holster?
You're welcome.
See it on the screen. I'm showing this sling holster that comes with the unit. Can you see it?
That's like a little baby Bajorn almost.
Yeah. Is that fit around
that pouch is exactly the size of the unit, right? Including the height of that back, and and then there's a shoulder holster as well, which can be worn diagonally across one shoulder towards the armpit of the, like from the left shoulder to the armpit of the right arm. And device can be there without obstructing the use of the two hands when the staff is not using the device. And then I'll quickly show you the protective cases as well.
Yeah, if we can get those included in the quote for the device so we can see what our options are.
Sure. Yeah, sure, of course.
Thank you.
That's my reference to the crossbody bag, right?
Yeah.
Is that the same one you were thinking of? That is the one you're talking about, Jay, as a silicone
No, there's
one, or is
another one
that
that's just like a big strap. Like a big strap.
okay?
Go
And I'm
get it.
going to show that one now as well.
Oh, okay, thanks, Matt.
So we looked at the silicone, excuse me, the holster, shoulder holster. Now you're going to see the actual case that the device goes into.
Nice.
Okay, and then so that's just to protect the device. That's not to mount it on a person.
Yeah, this is to protect against impact and things like that. And then you carry the device in this case because it has the right opening for the credit card insertion, receipt print, barcode scanning, etc. You can use all of those features while they're in the protective case. And while not using it, you would holster the device, basically. So that's the idea and the use case for the two accessories.
What is the screen material? What material is that? Is it the same as Android's?
It's like probably, does it have a tempered cover on it?
I'm sorry, say it again, please.
Is there a tempered glass screen protector on the unit, or is that something we could add on there?
Yeah, you should be able to add an aftermarket screen protector. There is some finish on that screen for against scratch and impact, but it's not obviously impact proof.
Right. Android's pretty durable. I mean, I had a phone for 5 years and I never had a case on it or a screen protector, and I've dropped it several times, and it took a while for it to die, and I think it just died because it was old, not because I dropped it sometimes.
Well, you know, like my dad always said, they don't make them like they used to, right? So
No,
you probably
they
want to
don't.
put it.
They make them.
Probably want to put.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. So we have a list of things for you, and we'll get you some pricing structures and figure out the plans with Felicia and Karen, and make sure we put together something compelling for you. Was there any other thoughts or questions?
I think I'm all out of questions. Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Good. Well, thank you for spending the time, and I know that Elisa had to run, and thank her for us as well. And we'll be back in touch shortly. If you think of anything, hey, what about that? What about this? When you guys are, bouncing it around, please let us know. Okay. And we'll call. Yeah, we'll call and set up a time later this week or next week to go through pricing.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, Jay. I did find out about your renewals. Your point of sale renewals and your inventory renewals are due June 30th. So this is a good time for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Matt, for spending some time with us, and
You
thank
have
you to the
a
outside.
quick question.
One quick question came up.
We're using the RFID tags. That's not going to be an issue with the mobile unit reading those tags, is it?
No.
No, because it's not looking for an RFID. It's just a regular scanned barcode tag. So as long as that's the same number that you have in Retail Pro that scans, it'll push that to eMobile, right? So your item numbers, your descriptions, your scannable barcodes, as long as that field is pushed, then we'll be able to read it in eMobile.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys have a good day.
Thank you.
We'll touch base soon.
Thank you very much. We'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.